Right, hello and welcome to my third tutorial, and this is going to be to make this rod end component here. It's quite a simple component, but there are a couple of different ways of doing it. And this mates up with Btec Unit 17 assignment. And here's the rod, and here's the information that you're given, and it's from this information you have to actually create this component here. So I'm going to be taking dimensions from the other drawing and putting them on here. Now, I said there's two different ways I want to do it, and these really are going to emulate the ways in which you could machine it. The way it's presented on the screen at the moment, you could machine it like this. You've got a basic 12mm bar. We could hold it vertically in a milling machine, and we could put these faces on by using an end mill and going down each side. And that's the first way I'm going to do it. Or you could hold the machine, you could hold the component horizontally in a vise like this, and you could use the end of an end mill to actually machine this face, flip it over, machine the other face, and then put the hole through. Both operations, both ways there would be two different operations. One way might be better than another. Who knows? If there was a perpendicularity tolerance between one of these faces and that hole, this would be the better way, because we could do that face and that hole all in one operation. If there was no perpendicularity tolerance, there's no reason why we couldn't just hold it vertically in a vise, machine either side, and then hold it down flat and put the hole in after. Okay, so that's the two different ways we're going to be looking at this, and we're going to use both of those different ways to actually create the Inventor drawing. So let's start with a new sketch, a new drawing, new, standard millimeters, and create. First things first, let's actually create a 12mm bar. XY plane, select circle, snap to the middle, cursor turns green, let's enter 12. Let's finish that. Quickly and simply create a 12mm bar just by extruding that. And if we check our drawing, you can see 45. This radius here, you can see it's a full radius. It's a full rad on a 12mm bar, so that rad is going to be 6, half of 12. So 45 plus 6, 51. Right, extrude it 51mm long. Use our home key, navigate in to see our component. I'm going to machine it this way round first. So it's another 2D sketch, and we're going to start it on the end. Now, we need to have symmetry here. Best way of maintaining symmetry is to put a center line in. So actually get line, select center line, and we're going to snap up from the middle, create a line, just hit OK, reselect line, let's just complete that line and hit OK. The length is immaterial, all we need is a complete center line running through the middle of the component. Let's actually create our paths. We need to simulate our end mill. If we were holding it vertical and presenting an end mill down, we need to actually simulate what we're going to do. Rectangle. Every time you extrude, you need a complete profile. Rectangle automatically completes a complete profile. Let's just undo that, sorry. Unselect center line. Let's reselect rectangle. There's one. There's another. Okay, so they're both either side of our center line, and these are going to simulate our paths. Just to neaten it up, put some constraints on. We're going to make our rectangles exactly the same. Okay, two identical rectangles. All I've done here is I've used the equal constraint. I've constrained both long lengths to be the same length and both short lengths to be the same. Now let's put in some symmetry. Symmetry constraint, that edge, let's make them symmetrical around the centre line, and there you can see they're equal distance apart. Lastly, we just need to put in a dimension, how far apart they're going to be. Check our picture, there's our flats there, 8mm apart. So let's put 8mm into our dimension. Okay, and we can finish that. Right, I haven't constrained the lengths, I haven't constrained the widths, it's irrelevant. They simply need to be larger than the segment we want to remove. Select extrude. Click one profile, use the shift key, you can select another profile. Let's change to a cut, and we're going to put a distance in. And our distance down, let's just recheck our drawing. 7mm from the centre line plus our 6mm rad, so 13mm. Let's put in 13. Tick to confirm, and you can see we've created our flats. Now, a hole in the radius, we'll only do this once. I won't do it on the other shape I'm going to do, because we're going to use exactly the same method. Start 2D sketch. We're going to come off this face now. I'm using the scroll wheel, clicking and dragging the scroll wheel to drag him back into view. With the scroll wheel I can zoom in and out. Right, let's project geometry, and again I'm going to project all my edges, and this is so I can snap to this, I can dimension to them. If I don't project the geometry, I can't actually put snaps and constraints into the original picture. Line, centre line. If I hover across, I've got the middle. It turned green, it snaps to it. You can see now I've actually got my line going all the way to the middle there. Lastly, I just need a set of crosshairs for me to draw my hole, and for me to draw the arc that I need to put on, which I'm going to actually use to cut off the end shape. Right click, OK. This line is in the middle. Let's just dimension our other centre line from the edge of the job, 6mm. Let's move that across perfectly. Circle, we've seen this one used before. Let's get rid of our centre line. Click to the middle, drag out, add 6, enter. And lastly, we're going to create an arc. First thing, if you look bottom left, it does actually give you prompts. And we've got select center. Select the center of the hole, select a start point. Snap to that intersection there, snap to that intersection there. Now, remember, when we do an extrude, we need a complete shape. So I'm basically going to create a die, a cutting die, on this end of the component. So let's just create a random shape all the way around the outside. As I come across here, should be able to use polar tracking. Just like to do that, keeps it neat. And finish sketch. And we're now going to extrude these two shapes. Extrude. Select our circle. Shift key. Select our outside shape. Let's change to cut. And rather than distance, just go through all. Tick to confirm. Hit our home key. Okay. And there you can see we've got our completed rod drawing. Right, quick, simple. And we machined our flats on that as we would in a milling machine. Alright. The other way of doing it is we could shift a plane. So I'll just show you how to do that. Let's quickly create a new sketch. Standard. Create, start 2D sketch, select XY plane. Let's quickly draw a 12mm bar. Confirm that. Let's extrude 51. Alright, now like I said, we could put it in a vise like this, and we can actually present our end mill from above and machine across. Again, can do that in Inventor. What we need though is we need to create a Z datum, and that would be on the top face, tangential to this top plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift one of our planes and I'm going to move it to the top. Start 2D sketch, just click plane, open up the origin, XY plane, let's click and drag him up. Half a 12mm is 6, and that will actually position a plane now on top of our outside diameter. Start 2D sketch, select our plane, let's project our geometry again all the way around, and this time let's just simulate our machining pass across the end. Width of our box is almost the width of our cutter, and we're going to take this cutter across here and machine this piece off here. Only one dimension we actually need, and that will be from this edge to this edge, and that will be our 13mm dimension. That's what we extruded down in the last exercise. This time it's going to be part of dimension of our cube box. Finish that sketch, and let's do a cutting extrude. I'm going to take that profile, change it to cut. Let's just check our drawing again. 12mm diameter minus 8 is 4, divided by 2, so that's 2mm deep either side. Put in 2 there. You can see there's my 2mm deep cutting extrude. Alright. Click that work plane, right click, turn its visibility off so it disappears. We've got the plane on one side. We would then have to rotate it in the milling machine as on Inventor and actually repeat that feature on the other side. We can do that quite simply and quickly here by using the mirror command. Select that feature, mirror plane. Let's select our XZ mirror plane to be our mirror plane, and hit OK. Let's hit our home key. Alright, and there you can see we've got exactly the same feature as we had on our other part. Alright. To do the hole and the radius on the end, you would simply repeat what you did in this exercise here. Okay? I hope that's clarified that and made it really easy for you. Have a go, see what you think, and thank you for listening.